My 20s have tested me in every aspect of my life, like emotional, mental, career, financial, spiritual. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little sip and chat and sip. Look at my cute cup that my sister gave me. My cousin, who's like a sister. Not a day over fabulous. Okay, I just wanted to speak to you guys about what I've been learning in my 20s. And let me tell you this, my 20s my 20s have tested me in every aspect of my life, like emotional, mental, career, financial, spiritual, friendship, relationships, come on, family. So I have this thing where if I don't feel comfortable somewhere where I'm working, I'm ready to go. Me going. Like, plan or no plan, I'm leaving because I've learned to prioritize my happiness. One. Something that I've learned in my 20s is that sometimes money isn't worth it. If you're working at a place or doing something that you don't enjoy and there's terrible people, you don't like the office that you're in, you always feel shitty when you get there, but you're getting paid a higher amount, sometimes that amount isn't worth it. So if I want to see my family, and seeing my family is important, but this job requires me to be there most of the time, but I'm getting paid well, then I won't consider that job, because then I know I get stressed. Some people thrive that way. That isn't me. That's something I've learned. I need to like the environment. So anytime I decide to go to a different position or an agency, I really do question them. I interview them as well, because I do not want to go into an environment that is hostile. Because please, and that brings me to point 2, that it might be a little bit it might sound a little contradicting. Hear me out. Sometime leaving that job that you do not like, or leaving that environment that you do not like without being prepared, it's not self-love, dude. It's self-sabotage. Like, there's a fine line between those things. For example, if I know I have bills to pay and I don't have another job, I cannot leave this job just for the sake of hope and dreams. For some people it does work out that way, but if you're not a person who you know that it works out that way for you, don't do it. Don't. Don't put yourself through that stress. And the reason why I say that is because I've done that, where I've counted money I did not have, in a way. Like, I was not prepared to be without a job, and because in the past it was always easier for me, I never prepared for the worst. And it's like, of course, it's not pessimistic, right? You don't want to always think about every situation and just think, oh my God, well, if I don't do that, this terrible is going to happen. No, but you want to think realistically. Okay, if this goes the way that I planned, this is how it would look. And if it doesn't, this is how it will look. So why not prepare for both, so that if you're put in any of the situations, you would feel prepared. Just don't be so pessimistic or too optimistic. Be realistic, right? In the middle. Please understand, everything you do takes hard work. It takes consistency. It takes time. For some people, it may happen quickly, but those people probably practiced a billion times before it started happening for them. So I think that's something that everyone pays attention to. 3, the third thing I've learned is stop being so emotional. I know. I'm not here to invalidate your feelings. But dude, like, stop being so emotional. For real. With everything. And that means emotions does not mean sad and crying. It means yelling or getting angry. Like, all of these emotions. For me, I was always emotional. Any little thing that happened, it already, like, my blood pressure shot up. I was already, like, feeling away. And I'm just like, honestly, and don't take things personal, and don't be so emotional. Because people are mostly projecting. Even when they're being nice to you, when they're being mean, they're just showing you who their character is. And it has nothing to do with you, because you're not going to be everyone's favorite and you're not going to be everyone's enemy. And that is okay. It's accepting that it's okay to be different and not to be a part of certain circles, you know. So what? The reason why I said don't be so emotional is because I remember like working at one of my jobs and I was just emotionally burnt out, dude. Burnt. Do you understand what that means? To the point that you don't even care to try burnt out? I would wake up, drag my feet, and walk into the office and just dread the fact that I was there. Sincerely, hate it. Something that was said to me in my doctor's office, can you believe it? Was that it is their world and we're just living in it, right? Just go with the flow. And then when it comes to my world, to my home, to my little space, whatever I can control, I will control it. But when I'm in the domain of someone else, why will I go nuts? It's like there's so many things that are annoying. Change, some jobs being unfair. Of course, I understand that. Or overworking you. But honestly, if they give you a platform to express your concern, then do so. But if you're still going to be working there, why are you creating friction for yourself? Don't wake up and just be like, I hate it here, I hate it here, oh my god, my life sucks, my life sucks. Because then that's what you're playing out every single day. You're going to make sure you prove yourself right every single day. And I don't think a lot of people talk about that. We love to prove ourselves right. You talk about how you hate it, but you're going. So if I don't like this place, what am I doing to leave? Do I hate it here? Do I sincerely hate it here? What is it that I don't like about it? Is there a way for me to adjust that? How can I manage my time in a way that I can feel better about this job or this place or this friendship, whatever? But in the meantime, do not make your life hell, because that's not going to push you. If anything, that's going to burn you out. And that's what I realized. Every single day I was thinking about how stressful my job was, or I was obsessing over my relationship at the time or my friendships at the time. It was always something that I was obsessing over that I could not control. Believe it or not, all that thinking burns you out. It's energy, having to always think about how you hate being somewhere. There is more currency than money. That's another thing. Like, you do not have to be infatuated with money. And like, I understand that yes, money does buy happiness. It buys happiness in a way, but not full-heartedly, right? Where your needs are met, your emotional needs, where you can see your family and friends whenever you want. You can buy gifts, you can make sure you have food and your lights in your house is paid and stuff like that, of course. But happiness is a frequency, it is a frequency, and it is a currency. Like, you don't have to keep, you need to count all the blessings you have outside of money. Yes, you need to be responsible with your money, but like, being able to laugh with someone is such a blessing. Having people who warm your heart and tickle your soul, blessing. Having family, friends, or even having a job in general is a blessing, because there are so many people who don't have it who want to, you know, or your body, your face, your mind, whatever. But it's like so many currencies. Your persistence, your kindness, your honesty, these are currencies that I feel like aren't promoted as much. Or even if you're a little bit sassy, blunt, straightforward, those are blessings. The fact that you're able to speak your mind and stand your ground. And if you can't do that, that's okay. There's so many of us so we can be different characters. You were meant to thrive. You are meant to thrive. It does not matter where you are. The thing is, it matters where your mind is. Because where your mind is where you go. It's like driving, right? But if you're driving and you if wherever your eyes go, the car will go. I mean, technically your hands. But you know, if you stay focused somewhere else, eventually the car will go there. Dude. It's okay to feel and to express yourself, but It's not okay to feel and stay there. And that's another advice I would like to say. Do not dwell. Feel. Do not be avoidant of your emotions, because it is important to express it. Please believe, if you do not express your emotions, they will find a way to come out. Whether it's indecision, stress, overreacting, lack of communication, emotions will always find a way to come out. Don't do it to yourself, dude. Just don't. That's why I say feel, but don't stay there for too long. Like, if you stay there for too long, it's a slippery slope. You can stay there for the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Like, I realized that for myself. I realized that I was obsessed with being in a chaotic cycle. And I know it's like, it sounds weird, but it was a realization I made. I don't know, when did that come to me? There was a moment where I had to sit in myself, and I realized I was the one who constantly kept self-sabotaging. I kept making this all happen for myself. Like, it reaches a point where it's like, okay, I understand you're getting back on your feet. It takes a couple of months. But then the whole year, everyone's process is different. I understand that, because throughout this year, I was preparing myself mentally. It took time. It wasn't like I automatically felt like, ooh, I'm happy, I have energy. Because I fell into a deep depression. I didn't feel energized. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go to the gym, but I would order McDonald's. I didn't want to eat anything. I didn't want to cook. And not saying that those things, are the only way to show love to yourself, but they are a way to show love for me. I was kind of falling into negative habits and watching myself fall and not forcing myself. It's like there's something about feeling sad and unmotivated that doesn't allow you to move forward. And I get that. It reaches a point where it's you, babe. You're the fucking problem. Am I the drama? Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, babe. You're so used to a certain lifestyle that when you see that you're almost leaving it, you kind of go back to it because you're afraid of moving forward. And that's normal. Like, anyone who studied behavior can tell you that it is normal for you to relapse. The question is, how long are you going to relapse for? Right? And like, what measures are you going to take to get yourself out of it? That goes back to what I was saying. Like, you need to prepare for the best and the worst. Stop taking things personally. It's more like when you go to your job, I'm here just to get paid. No, not everyone wants to be a part of luxury, whatever the hell. You don't have to be. Like, it's okay. Like, I know that that's something that's promoted, at least that I see a lot in my feed. Of course, that is a dream for me. But I still love my place where I am now. I love myself. And although my body isn't exactly where I want it to be, or my finances, or my house, whatever, it is beautiful. My experience has been beautiful. One thing I can say, it has strengthened me to go through the things that I have gone through. No, you are not broken. You are not. You better get the fuck up. You better get up and do what you have to do, because you are worth it. And that's it. Those are the things that I've learned in my 20s so far. So let's see. I'm gonna finish this in part 2.